Okay. Namaskar. I am SM Chaudhary, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Electrical Engineering, All India Shri Shivaji Memorial Society's Institute of Information Technology, AISSMS IOIT Pune. This presentation is about constructional details of single-phase induction type energy meter, and it will cover the working principle of single-phase induction type energy meter, the constructional details, various parts which are there inside the energy meter, the material used for it and function of it, and adjustments provided in the induction type energy meter. So this is diagram of single phase induction type energy meter. If you observe, there are two electromagnets. Upper magnet is called a shunt magnet. It is E-shaped, and on central limb we are having some winding. Lower magnet is also electromagnet, which is C-shaped, and the two limbs of this C-shaped electromagnet carries winding. Now, this single phase induction type energy meter consists of two coils. One is called as pressure coil and other coil is called as current coil. These are connected exactly in the similar way as we do for wattmeter. Pressure coil is connected in parallel to the supply as well as to load. So if you observe pressure coil, the red winding, which is wound on the central limb of E-shaped electromagnet, it is in parallel with the supply as well as in parallel with the load. Now this coil, once it is connected to supply, AC supply, it will produce its own magnetic flux, and that flux will be passed like this towards the lower side of the limb and back to the central limb. So this is how the flux will be established in this way. Other magnet is C-shaped magnet. It carries current coil. This current coil is connected in series with the load. So load current will be flowing through this current coil. It will produce its own flux, and that will be proportional to the load current. So we have got two fluxes, one produced by pressure coil, one produced by current coil. The two fluxes obviously are alternating in nature because this instrument is connected to AC, alternating current source. Both coil produce their magnetic flux, which is present in the gap between them. We have arranged one aluminum disc. This disc is made up of aluminum, circular shaped, and it is supported by a vertical rod. This vertical rod is known as spindle. Then this aluminum disc edge is provided with a braking magnet. The braking magnet is embracing the edge of the aluminum disc. This braking magnet is a permanent magnet. Its position you can adjust to and fro. So you can take it toward the center of the disc or you can also take it away from the center of the aluminum disc. Next part is copper shading band. These are simply some number of turns of copper coil which are mounted on the central limb. You can move them up or down, copper shading band. One more coil is provided on the spindle. It is called a light load adjustment. Small number of turns are there. On the upper side, we can observe a registering mechanism. It actually consists of gears having definite gear ratio, and this ratio is adjusted so that it counts the number of revolution made by the spindle. When the aluminum disc rotates, the spindle also rotates, and those rotations are passed on to this gearing mechanism. And finally, the number of revolutions will be displayed in terms of energy. So there will be some numbers displayed either in alphabet numerical form or It can be also given to some proper type of display, LED or LCD display. This is about the constructional details. Now, working principle, it works on electromagnetic induction. The pressure coil and current coil produce alternating flux which links with the aluminum disc. Since the flux linking with aluminum disc, that pressure coil flux and current coil flux are changing, and EMF is induced in the disc. This is as per Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Whenever flux linking with a coil changes, EMF is induced in the coil. So disc has now induced EMF. That induced EMF circulates ED current within this disc. So disc will have AD currents. AD current produced by the pressure coil flux and AD current produced by current coil flux. So there are two eddy currents, one due to pressure coil, one due to current coil. These eddy currents will produce their own flux. So this flux of eddy currents and the two fluxes, pressure coil flux, current coil flux, they interact and a torque is produced on the disc. So disc rotates at a definite speed. Definite speed means the rotations are proportional to power VI cos phi. Okay, so disk, if power consumption is more, disk will rotate at faster speed. If power consumption is less, disk will rotate at slower speed. So disk rotations are proportional to power. When the disk rotations are counted over a period of time, that can give you energy. Electrical energy is power into time. So if this disk rotations which are proportional to power, if they are counted by some mechanism, you can get energy. So a registering mechanism is provided at the top. This is mechanically coupled to the spindle, and these consist of various gears. The gears will also rotate. They have definite gearing ratio. The number of revolutions are counted, and finally it is connected to numbering system. The calibration is done in such a way that the number will directly indicate how much energy is consumed over a period of time. So this is about the constructional details and working principle. Now, the various adjustments. We'll talk about adjustment. Now there are in all three adjustments you can observe. One is light load adjustment, then copper shading band. This is also one sort of adjustment. We call it as lag adjustment or phase adjustment. And one is braking magnet, which provides you speed adjustment. One by one we will discuss it. Now this braking magnet is provided at the edge of the disc. Now disc is circular and the disk is rotating, so this much portion of disk is under the influence of magnetic flux of braking magnet. So since disk is rotating, it will cut the flux and EMF will be induced in the disk. Now EMF, as per Lenz's law, has to oppose the cause of producing it. Okay, so it will oppose the motion, and that is how braking torque is achieved. Now how this will look from the top side, that we will see. I will draw one diagram. So this is disk. If you observe it from top side, aluminum disk. When this aluminum disk And at the edge, as I told you, this is the electromagnet which is present. Try to understand. This is side view. Now if you observe this from the top, okay, if you observe it from the top, what you will observe? Circular aluminum disc and some projection of this magnet on the disc. That is what I have drawn. This is aluminum disc, circular disc, and this is the magnet. Now what happens? This disc is continuously rotating. Let us say it is rotating in this direction. Now when this rotates, the flux will be cut by the disc and EMF will be induced. Now EMF expression, as we know, it is equal to BLV sine theta. Okay, let me see. Let me. So the EMF induced in the disc will be equal to BLV sine theta. B is the flux density. Now flux density is because of this magnet, this braking magnet, okay, which is present in this portion. So flux density will be the flux and the effective area of disk which is coming under influence. Now effective area, when I say, you have to look in this way. What I can say, see, only this much portion, the edge portion is coming under the influence of the magnet, this braking magnet. So ultimately we can say this edge, this much area is coming under the influence of magnetic flux. This magnetic flux is not reaching in this area, remaining area. So effective length will be this much of the disk along the perimeter of the circular disk. So the length here is effective length. So when I say length, length means this much. या स्ट्रिपची जेवढी लेंथ आहे तीच लेंथ. So what will happen? The flux density B is constant. Sine theta, you can say it is angle of flux cutting. It is almost 90 degrees. The flux is perpendicular to the disk, isn't it? So it is 90 degrees. That's why the EMF induced depends on effective length. Now if I move it inside, what will happen? Can anybody tell? If I move this inside, what will happen? The effective length will increase or decrease. The effective length has to decrease. So obviously the braking torque will decrease because EMF, it is induced as per Lenz's law. So if I bring this magnet from this position to this position, the effective length is going to decrease, EMF will decrease and braking torque will decrease. So this is about the braking effect and speed adjustment. So if you have this magnet position at the edge of the disk, effective length will be more, EMF will be more, braking effect will be more, the speed of the disk will be reduced. So to provide more braking, you have to take it outside to reduce the speed. If you have to increase the speed of the disc, you have to reduce the braking torque. So you will be taking this inside. Next adjustment is lag adjustment. Now copper shading bands you can observe, which are provided on the central limb. Now what is expected that the pressure coil flux the pressure coil voltage and pressure coil current. They should be displaced by 90 degrees. Then only the pressure coil voltage and pressure coil current or flux should be displaced by 90 degree and pressure coil flux lagging the voltage by 90 degree. Now this is the pressure coil. You can see number of turns are there. It is highly inductive, but it possesses some resistance also. So it is expected that pressure coil flux should lag the pressure coil voltage by 90 degree, but it does not happen in practice. So what they do, they produce additional flux by this means of copper shading bands. So copper shading band will introduce one more flux. It will interact with the pressure coil flux in such a way that the resultant flux will be brought exactly at 90 degrees to the pressure coil voltage. So if pressure coil flux ideally should be in this position, if it is not lagging by 90 degrees, then they introduce one more flux like this, so that the resultant is turned out to be like this. This is how the copper shading band will work. So they bring the quadrature relationship between pressure coil voltage and pressure coil flux. Next adjustment is light load adjustment. Now light load adjustment means at small load, what we expect, this disk should rotate even if some small load is connected, electrical load is connected to the system. That means energy should be recorded properly even if small less amount of load is connected. What happens, this moving system of energy meter consists of aluminum disc, then this vertical spindle, then bearings at the top and bottom, and these are ultimately connected to the driving mechanism or registering mechanism through gears. So all this adds to the inertia and friction of moving parts, and hence if small driving torque is present, the system may not rotate. The system means moving system may not respond to the small quantities, which should not happen. So what they do, additional coil is put on the spindle. This additional coil has induced EMF. It circulates current and produces additional flux, which will assist to produce torque. So even if at light load a very less torque is present, this light load adjustment will produce additional driving torque and it will try to nullify the error.